What is up, everybody, and welcome to FPL Wildcats Live, and we are about to start the FPL draft. We're literally about 3 minutes and 30 seconds away, so thank you so much for joining us all. We're excited and maybe a bit nervous about this because some of us haven't done a draft before, while some have done quite a few. So this should be interesting. I think it's one of the first times this has actually been done on YouTube as well, an FPL draft, at least live, that I'm aware of. So this should be really interesting. We've of course got the usual people with us today. We've got Brett from FPL TV, we've got Nim Freer, and we've got Kurt Joy. And I guess we'll just chat a bit before this all begins. We've got 3 minutes to go. I don't know who is going first. Second, I think Nim may be going first just because he was the first in it. But we'll see.
No, I think it randomly chooses.
Okay, so we've got to be on our... Got to be ready.
Yeah, got to be ready. Any one of us. It could literally be any one of us. So this could either go brilliantly or terribly. We all know that if Fellaini doesn't go into Kurt's team, then, you know, we're all giving up on him. He's out of the pack. He's out. Oh. And also, we're all going to be very interested to see whether he tries to squeeze Salah in first. If he's the first.
If he's first and Salah goes in, we need to put some clips of Kurt speaking about Salah and then a clip of him picking him first.
Well,
on
if
Twitter.
I have Salah in this mode and I don't have him in the normal mode, I'm going to do well in one of them. So,
covering your bases. I see.
All edging your bets, my friend.
Just bet on everyone to win usually. That way, at least I win the bet.
That's true. At least I've tweeted out the right link this week. So sorry to everybody that I, didn't do that last time. Yeah, that was fun.
And I suppose I should say thank you for over 200 subscribers as well.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you everybody, and thank you all very much for my 1,000 subscribers, which happened just before we came on air. So woo, thank you. And
that's it. The rest of us should check if our sub count's gone up.
Yeah, well,
what am I?
Because you're all brilliant. You got there long before me. I'm a newbie to all of this. All 1 minute and 9 seconds.
I'm just dead silent. I'm too nervous. I don't know. My heart's racing for this.
Well,
you've been excited all like afternoon, haven't you?
Yeah, maybe it's excited nerves. Maybe I haven't done a draft before, so it's all a bit new to me. But let's see what happens.
Oh, 48 seconds. Okay, so I
48 seconds. I'm on a minute. Is that bad?
I'm on 40 seconds.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, no.
So Kurt's going to miss his pick.
All right,
and then I'm going to snap up for Lady.
Salah to my watch list, so it should be fine.
Yeah, should I be in the draft room? Yeah, probably should be, shouldn't I? That would probably help.
I was going to say, if FPL was like, if the regular game was like this, it would certainly save me a lot of time, if you only had 2 minutes to make a pick. Yeah. It would save me a lot of weeks just sitting there all summer, like trying to figure out what team I'm going to go for.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, I'm on 0 seconds now, so
yeah, same.
I think
and me.
Going, to be honest.
Oh, there we go.
Picking now, first round.
Nim Freer's got first.
Yes, I've got Salah. Get in, man.
Wow, that was quick. Anyway. That was very, very quick.
Boom, done.
Straight in. No hesitation whatsoever.
There you go, Kurt. You can carry on, no Saladin now in peace.
Wasn't meant to be the plan.
So I guess it's me next. Oh, it doesn't even have prices up. Wow. I was expecting prices.
No, there's no prices whatsoever.
There's no prices.
There's no budget.
No budget. You just pick who you want.
Yeah, but I just wanted it to, like, be my kind of measuring stick. I guess we'll go with this one then.
The preparation we've had.
Are we showing what is
yes,
someone
right
is
now.
then?
Right now they're seeing my draft screen.
That was the quickest Salah selection I've ever seen. He's gone within 2 seconds.
That's literally how my FPL team has been since the end of last season.
You had 2 minutes to deliberate that, and you didn't even take 2 seconds.
He was there at the top of my list. He was sorted. Boom. In.
No explanation needed. Wow. Okay, it's my pick. Tough choice. I kind of don't want to say who I'm considering in case the person.
Yeah, that's the problem. You want to explain, but you're like, I don't want to say too much.
I do. It's a tough choice. This one. It's between 2 players.
Which are? Oh well,
I'm gonna have to take Aubameyang. I'm gonna have to go Aubameyang just throughout the season. I think he's got to deliver, hasn't he? So
that's my number 1 pick.
Gutted. Kurt, just for
I've got 2 in a row.
Salah,
I didn't realise
it's left you last. It left you last because it knew you didn't have Salah in your team.
It's like he doesn't need the first pick. He's not going for Salah. What's the point?
It has to be Fellaini, doesn't it?
Right. I'm not really sure who I want to go with here.
That's bad, considering you only have 1 minute and 30
I've got 14 players on my watch list. I've got to go the next round as well. So I've got 2 in a row.
You've got 2 in a row.
Making it a bit nerve-wracking.
Oh, yeah. It goes backwards now, doesn't it? Oh, no. Damn it.
I may as well pick him. I like Bobby.
Who's him?
Oh, Bobby Firmino.
Okay.
And
It's telling me now.
see, I don't want to leave all the high-priced players to go, but I don't really like most of them.
Go with your gut, I think, is probably the best. Just
But
go with your gut.
my gut's telling me Fellaini, so I'm avoiding that.
The main thing is that with this, there's only the 4 of us. So when I did it last season, there was like 8+ people in each draft.
Yeah.
And that was very difficult for some maneuver, but we're all going to have a lot of maneuver with there just being the 4 of us.
Yeah.
So what happens if, let's say, for example, I bring Courtois in? I'm not going to, just using him as an example, and he leaves. What happens to my team then?
Then you can do transfers like normal FPL. So you just choose whoever's left.
Yeah, I guess you're gambling then, because if you pick a big player that's perhaps rumored to be transferred, then that's kind of a big player pick wasted, because then you're going to be left transferring him for someone quite average, probably. I was thinking that earlier.
I've got a couple on my watch list that I don't think are going to be too popular. But
that's you, isn't it, Kurt? That's you all over.
Just
there you go. I'll go with
people.
the Dabmeister, Paul Pogba, and hope.
Ooh, he was on my list too. So now it is over to.
Oh, it's me.
Brett. Yeah, it's going
Wow.
backwards now. We're going backwards. So.
Interesting. Okay, so the person I was considering over Aubameyang is still available. I think. Oh wow, this is tough actually.
Oh, I didn't pick Tamar Hamed. Damn it.
I'm not gonna go for a forward. I'm gonna get KDB in. I think again over the season, Kevin De Bruyne is he always delivers, doesn't he? Throughout the season, you'll probably get easily over 200.
Already, so. I'm scared of.
Why you got to do that to me, Kurt? Brett? Why? De
Sorry,
Bruyne was
Jay.
literally like one I was considering.
Oh, hang on, Jay. Did you get Kane?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it!
Well, I thought Salah's gone, so.
Yeah, you shouldn't have spent 2 seconds on Salah.
Well, then please, nobody take Aguero.
All right. So basically, the dilemma I've got is: do I go Man City or Arsenal forward? So I'm trying to get my forwards in first. So there's Aguero, but the rotation risk, and there's Lacazette, who is, by the looks of it, likely to start. With Aubameyang on the.
Whichever you don't have, I'll be having the other off. Because they were the next.
Damn it! Why can't I pick both?
Connor Wickham's available. You can have him.
I'm all right for now. Although I hope he does have a good season, but I think I will go Lacazette just because of rotation with Aguero.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Just to quickly mention, Seb in the chat said, "I guess no one's going to be choosing Hazard then," and that was my dilemma, because Hazard is certainly an option, and if he stays, he could have an awesome season in this new system. But it's a question of, do you take Hazard, a big pick, and then risk him being transferred away in real life? So, that's a difficult one.
He could be like I don't think you have to be completely safe with it because, like I said, there still will be transactions we can make.
True.
So
I guess how late in the draft we decide who wants to take that gamble and when. If you want to take the gamble now, do you wait a couple of rounds and maybe someone else picks him or something? But
no,
It is
so
your go again, Nim, by the way, if you didn't know.
yeah,
Oh,
I've
okay.
just taken Aguero. Oh, God.
Oh, nice, good
Absolutely
pick.
love him. So yeah, I don't give a smidge about rotation. I have to have him in the team to start.
Okay.
So he's kind of my Fellaini pick, I suppose. Gotta have at least one. So now, I'm a little worried I don't have any Arsenal cover, considering that Aubameyang and Lacazette have been taken. So
There we go.
think I'm going to take Rambo.
Damn it.
Wow, nice. Okay, interesting.
That's a good pick because he was one of the top selections I had lined up.
But it's risky because he still hasn't re-signed his contract. So this could still be an issue for me. So, it's
So
not
who's
set
it's
in
John's
stone.
mine
pick now.
pick, it's mine,
It's
yeah.
John's pick. Interesting. He's quiet. He's thinking.
Well, basically,
He's
there's a player I
confident.
want who I think over the entire season will be very good, but I don't think they're going to have a good start to the season. And I'm going to pick him anyway, but
Yeah.
it's Christian Eriksen.
I
knew he
thought
was
you already
gonna
picked
go out.
Kane.
As soon as
Yeah, but you've already picked Kane. Do you want to double up there at the start
Well,
of
that's
the season?
two Spurs players.
Ooh,
Oh.
ouch.
Season-long game.
Yeah, absolutely. Ericsson, in terms of a lot, if you want someone throughout the season, he's one of them, isn't he? Always consistent, always brings home the points. There's a couple of players here that I'm interested in.
I'm just gonna Google a minute.
Oh, I thought it was my turn now. Okay, that makes sense.
It's not. I don't want to give away too
It's
much
not.
information.
It's not.
Just no, it's not your go.
No, it's not, mate.
not.
It's mine.
I love how you said that.
So currently, I've got Man City covered with De Bruyne, Arsenal with Aubameyang. I'm going to have to go Liverpool and go Sadio Mane, I think. Just for that explosiveness, we might not outscore Salah, but Mane's still very dangerous and could have a great season. So I'm going to go for Sadio Mane as my third pick.
Interesting that the three Liverpool forwards are now been spread across three teams.
Yeah.
I was interested in Mane at some point, but I'd already got Firmino, so I didn't really want to double up at this early stage. I've got a couple that I think are going to be... Well, Rambo was one of them, so maybe not. I need to move Fellaini further down my watch list just in case it does make me automatically pick them. I noticed how none of us have gone for defenders yet.
No.
Yep.
Or goalkeepers.
So I'm going to break the trend because I'm in love with this man, Cesar Azpilicueta.
Okay.
I think he's due a
Interesting.
very good season.
Dave.
Because it will be back in right back in my eyes if they go four at the back, and that's his natural position. So it can only mean good things for him.
It's an interesting strategy there, Kurt, because obviously you're kind of aware that we're all looking at forwards now. So this is your chance to, if you want to get some good defenders in, you're kind of insuring them now, if you know what I mean, locking them in now. So you're kind of getting there earlier than what we would have gone for.
Yeah, that's my aim, because I am slightly nervous because I was last that I've lost out on a lot of the main attacking players. So I don't really want to lose that again. I'm in a bit of a dilemma here.
Is he going to go two premium? You could go two premium defenders if you wanted to.
It's getting difficult for me now as well. Pretty much all the players I'd shortlisted, most of them.
If this was with like 8 people, this would have been carnage. There's a couple.
This draft, actually, this whole draft setup is quite exciting, and the further we go, the more interesting it's going to be.
I'm just checking Ben Dinery to see if the next person I'm thinking of, whether he's injured or not. A little shout out for Ben there.
A little Ben Dinery check up for the draft.
So sorry, I'm concentrating on my phone.
I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to go for Robertson.
Wow. Okay, he's gone for 2 premium defenders and just got them straight in. Fair play.
Who did you have? Who? What? What happened?
I brought in Robertson and Aspilicueta.
Oh, what? You did what? No.
That is a really interesting strategy because we could be left with a lot of,
Good
lesser
pick,
defenders, to be fair.
Good pick.
Jerome Hughes has made a good point in the comments saying, "I didn't
Yeah.
want to lose any out. I didn't want to lose out on any attacking players, so I've picked 2 defenders." Really good logic there from myself.
Well done.
You know what they say? Best form of offense is a good defense.
Oh, do you know what? For a minute, I was like, I can't see my team, but then I completely remembered it's down the right-hand side of the screen. So,
I think everyone sees my team only. But
Jay, I think it's Brett next.
It is my turn.
it is, but I was just wondering who I actually had.
if you want to see who you've got, if you just go drafted as well, you can just see.
Oh, right, okay.
Who's gone where and stuff.
So I'm gonna take a bit. It's not a punt, but I believe this player is going to have a bit of a bounce back season this year. Maybe it's a bit of bias from me coming out, but I'm going to go for Mesut Ozil.
Oh.
I think throughout the season he's going to have a good year under a new manager. And this whole Germany controversy, it kind of frees him up from international duty. So for Arsenal, he can play a few more games and not have as many off days, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go for Ozil as my next pick.
Nice. Like it.
That's a nice pick.
Damn it.
2 points quickly, Jay. One,
yeah.
Do you reckon it's worth putting or changing whenever if it changes to Brett's pick, put Brett's pick or Brett's team currently on the side so the viewers can see who he's got so far?
So how would I do that?
Yeah.
At the side,
we see each other's? Can we see each other's?
Gone drafted team,
okay.
so
Yes. All right.
People.
That is just out of the screen, but yes, I can change it.
I'm also going to stop watching the stream because
yes,
I realised I could look in on your watch list. I haven't, but
Oh yeah.
What?
I'm not going to watch it anymore.
Oh, that's not fair. You've all got insider knowledge.
Well, I don't have insider knowledge. It's my
Well, you can
knowledge.
see your watch list.
I can see my watch list. It's mine.
But so can everyone else apart from me. How's that a fact? Get tweeting. Tell me who was in his watch.
So there's Man City, but the one player that I'm confident is going to play has been taken. And then there's so many other options. I'm not sure I want to risk a Man City option.
Oh, was that KDB?
Yeah.
Not Aguero, even though he was in training today. Just saying.
So
Stalker.
I really don't know who to go for now.
I just know my football. What can I say?
And I've got 40 seconds where I have to make a decision.
40 seconds. 38. 30 seconds.
Putting pressure on.
Just choose Iwobi. It's fine.
I'm gonna go just hoping he does still start. Not that I'm that aware of Arsenal's actual team sheet so far, but I'm hoping Mkhitaryan's part of that front three and Özil's just behind him. So it could be a very risky pick, but I'm not sure I want to go for a Man City option that doesn't start. Don't worry, I can see it as well. So I've got it. There you go. So we are now on Nim's pick. And
what
there
was
we
I
go.
going to say? The only thing that slightly worries me about Mkhitaryan is that he blows a bit hot and cold. And during the pre-season, he's both smashed a penalty at the goalkeeper and smashed a one-on-one chance at goal straight at the goalkeeper. So I just wanted to put that
there were
out
shots on target.
That's true. That's true. They're bound to go in eventually. So I'm going to go with a bit of the Kurt strategy here.
Oh, defenders?
Yes, I'm going to go with the defender. Just putting that out there. I'm waffling because I know who I want to choose. So this person has been very active on Twitter lately. This person has their own FPL League. Yeah, he does.
Oh, I know.
And this person is going in my team.
PVA?
Patrick Van Aanholt.
Yeah.
You better do the business for me, son.
You're just trying to get in
my
his mini
first
league.
Defender. No, I'm in. You could be in as well if you want. He's put the code out. So, but yeah, if he wants to shout out the Wildcats, I'm all good with that. So we are. Oh, it's me again. Oh no, that I wasn't prepared for. All that waffling. Look,
Shouldn't have
very
spent so much
She's
time
like, I know
waffling.
who my pick is. I'm just going to waffle for a little bit. oh, it's my pick again.
Ah, crap. What do I do? Okay. Hang on now. Oh gosh, do I only? Okay, I ought to think of another forward. You've
got a star-studded midfield there, Brett.
Thank you, bud. You got a star-studded defence. I've got no one there.
I've got no defence either.
I'm between two midfielders and a forward, and I don't know which one to go with.
Welcome to the 40 people in the stream, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Awesome.
Okay.
You will see our faces at some point.
Okay. I am going to go with who I believe might have been the second highest scoring forward last season. That could be wrong. I'm going to go Lukaku just so I have some Man United cover.
Ouch! I was eyeing up Lukaku.
If you didn't pick him, that was my next pick. So Brett, you wouldn't have got him anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so that is unfortunate.
Sorry.
I think because of my struggle to pick midfielders, just because I'm really worried that I'll pick the wrong Man City option, I'm going to go back up front as well. And I'm thinking of 3 players. 2 I'm sure you all know, but there could be one that people aren't thinking about just because he's not really had the kind of seasons that he did have when he first came to everyone's attention. But I think I just have to have a West Ham player in there, so I'm probably going to go Arnie. Even again, with a bad start to the season, I think they're playing teams probably at the best time to play them. So I'm going to go Arnautovic.
Yeah, he was on my list too, so good shout.
Yeah, fair play.
I'm happy to say what the other ones now. Yep, that's all my strikers gone.
Pre-seasons.
Get in there early. That's where I plan to be with my defenders in the next couple of turns.
This is tough now. We're really dwindling down and the forward options are really starting to go.
Okay, so he was, sorry, I just want to clarify that 1, 2, 3, 4, Lukaku was 5th best striker last season, so crack on, sorry.
That midfield is really good though, bro. I know
I might
Kurt's
add
already
to
said
it.
that.
I might add to it, to be honest. I might add to this midfield.
Just play Aubameyang up front and just have a really good midfield.
Yeah. There is a player in midfield that, again, could be considered a punt. But he's not. He's a punt, but he's not like, you know.
I know your pain.
I'm gonna take a gamble on this player because on their day they are world class on their day, and even though I had a lot of negative things to say about them in the last stream, I think over the season.
Oh no! I feel like you're keying up to say somebody I want.
I think I'm going to go for Alexis.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm going to go for Alexis Sanchez at United. That's going to really bolster my midfield even more so. I think over the season as a draft pick, you know, he's quality. He's got to deliver a decent amount of points over the season, I think. So I feel pretty confident having him in my team for the season.
Interesting. I've got one pick lined up, but I'm going to use this time, since I've got double picks, to focus on my second pick of my turn. Just so I don't waffle on and struggle with the second, because I'm genuinely clueless as to who I want to bring in. So I don't give you the history. Oh no, that's not good.
They don't get the history.
Well,
Yeah,
I've got one striker
to
that
see.
I'm leaving right towards the end, which I do think will be a good pick, because I don't think anyone else will pick them. I've got one striker that I will bring in, not this turn, but next turn. And that will leave me attack sorted.
I love how he says that with such confidence. He knows exactly that it's going to be sorted. And that none of us have thought of that either.
Next 2 turns, both of them are going to go. I was going to be sitting here like, oh, come on. Should not have talked
But
me
he
out.
knows I can't pick the forward, so that's one.
That's a good point, yeah. That's all I'm going to wait for. All you to pick your midfielders and attackers, and I'll just get last dibs. That's all I want. I'm just going to pick my first pick now because I'm struggling.
Maybe.
And I just think clean sheets after clean sheets need to have them in there. Prices aren't a thing. So the 0.5 million overpriced David De Gea makes his way into my team.
Interesting.
If he could get like 15, 16 clean sheets, that's half the season sorted. So I don't really need to think about goalkeepers now. Get Rob Green for all I care.
If David De Gea gets injured.
I might pick Sergio Romero then.
That's my next pick.
Are they watching the screen now, Jay, or
they're watching the screen.
Okay.
My second pick, I'm still in the sort of phase of wanting to pick the bigger players, the bigger priced players, because you got no budget, but there's no one really shouting out to me. I don't know who I'm going to pick. I really don't know.
Oh dear, a whole minute of Kurt not knowing.
Oh, I know. It's a really bad feeling.
So, what is everybody's favourite sweet? I quite like Skittles. Yeah. The branded sweet
really
bar. I'm going to get myself in trouble again, aren't I?
You and brands.
I'm going to take
I know, I'm terrible.
I'm going to go with Leroy Sané and just make sure I've got Man City coverage of sorts.
Yeah, nice. It had to be one of them, didn't it? You know, we've all kind of neglected them a bit, but any one of them could deliver over the season, couldn't they? So,
FYI, I wasn't just stalking Aguero. Apparently, Jesus was back in training today as well. So, yeah, just letting you guys know.
You're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah. Just told you, I love football.
You like a lot of Man City players, is all I'm saying.
Oh, they're my second best favourite team.
So the player I've sort of was considering for Kurt's choice, it's still there. The last round of picks, my kind of idea of the player I wanted is still available. So, not playing for a big team, but I need to bolster my forward line a bit here because I've only got Aubameyang at the moment. So I'm going to go for
how terrible.
I'm going to go for the pretty consistent Jamie Vardy, I think. Just to get those two forwards.
I'm assuming that was one of Gert's that he said nobody.
Yeah, I knew I shouldn't have shouted him out about my strikers not being picked.
Do you know what? The one striker when I was thinking about three strikers, one of them was Vardy as well.
Yeah, me too. He's on my watch list.
Oh, I need a new game plan now. Goodness sake.
So
we're all on to you, Kurt. We're all on to you.
You're too predictable. Too predictable. I'm probably going to go for a midfielder again. Really don't know which one to go for though. If Hazard stays, that would be amazing if I picked him. But if he goes and I pick him, I'm going to have to make a forced transfer. Man City options. If I was going to go for anyone other than KDB, it would have been Sane. He's been taken.
I think you get unlimited transactions. I think, as long as
no one else
maybe somebody can, as long as nobody else has picked them.
I might this could be a random one, a bit of a risky one, but off of his pre-season form and to get Man City coverage, and I think he'll start, and then I can maybe make a transfer. I'm actually going to go Bernardo Silva.
Nice, interesting.
Ooh, you've got me worried then, because I've been staring at Sterling, going, nobody get him, nobody get him, nobody get him. I'm gonna give Sterling a shot because I feel like he gets a bit of a bad rep, and he did really well last season. So of course he's probably not going to be there to start with, or he might be benched. I'm not sure which, but yeah, I want him in. So Sterling is in now. Where shall I go next?
Can I just say in the chat, it's mixed up with people saying FPL TV side is looking good and Vardy is a bad pick. So he would have been in my team, so I'm
yeah, I think over the season, he's a pretty consistent performer over the season, isn't he? He normally gets 15, 20 goals. And, I have left it late to fill up my forward line, so there wasn't many great forward options left, to be fair. So that's kind of me trying to justify my Vardy pick forever.
Well, to be honest, I can't think of many much better pick than Vardy myself. There are a few options I'd consider, but I wouldn't say anyone that's left in the forwards is that much better than Jamie Vardy.
Well, you think outside the Kane, Lukaku, sort of really big price players, you know what you're going to get with Vardy. He runs his socks off 90 minutes and he's going to grab at least 10 goals, if not more. Well, he's grabbed at 10 and over the last 3 seasons, so he's consistent. I think it's a good pick, unfortunately.
There we go. We got your back, Brett.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, this chat needs to up their game again. Questions are poor and now the comments are poor.
I think that's
Simon Cowell of FPL.
I'm not going to be here long.
That's why draft is a bit different, isn't it? Because I'm trying to think of the over the season kind of players rather than, I wouldn't go for Vardy in the regular game at the moment because he's away to United game week 1, that kind of thing. But over the season, I think he could be a decent shout.
You know what I'm going to do?
20 seconds left in him.
Yeah, we've just talked over a go. That's...
Yeah, don't worry about me, lads. You crack on. I'm going to make sure I've got one City person in each position, and I'm going to go for Edders. So that's me, Ederson and Sterling for my 2 picks.
Hey, so...
He's currently in my actual team at the moment for FPL, so...
I think Ederson's a good pick for FPL for sure this year. I made a video on goalkeepers the other day, and I'm definitely leaning towards Ederson over De Gea now if I go down the premium route.
Okay, again, I'm worried that I haven't got a Liverpool player. And all the obvious ones are taken. I mean, I could risk Shaqiri hoping people don't start, but I would have to change him.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that.
His hips don't lie.
There is Lallana as well, but I just don't think I can go for any of them. Not with confidence, anyway.
Ooh,
not really any Manchester United ones either.
What about Fred?
Nah, not interested. Sorry, Fred.
Poor Fred.
Oh, Fred. I hope there's not a person watching the stream called Fred now, otherwise it's going to sound really harsh.
Know what it might be? I'm just going to take a gamble that this one will stay and the other one will go. So I'm going to go for Willian.
Oh.
And take the gamble that Hazard is going to be the one that leaves and Willian will stay.
Nice.
I did like that pick, but I've seen rumours that both of them have had bids in, so that's the only reason I've stayed away.
I'm taking a gamble, to be fair, because I think he might be gone.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me now because I have the option here to put, a power 5 and have Hazard in the midfield as well. Hazard's still available, but it's a question of is it a risk or not?
Depends what you call risky, my friend.
I guess if we had assurances that Hazard would stay, he'd probably be already picked already. It's only because we're...
No, he trolls me all the time. There's no way I could put him in because he would just troll me.
I sort of want to put him in there just to put him as that 5. Like I would just have such a power 5 in midfield, then it would be unreal.
The thing is, with your 4 midfielders anyway, if he does leave and you have to pick a weaker choice, it's not the end of the world because the other 4 you've got are pretty solid.
There's another player that I like in midfield as well. And I guess he's being overlooked. But he would be considered a slight gamble as well. This is quite a tough one.
They're all a gamble at the beginning of the season, let's be fair. We don't know nothing at the beginning of the season apart from what we knew from last season. So
I think as I'm going over...
Although Salah's not a gamble.
For the duration of the season, I think I'm going to
gamble.
I'm going to go for Son, I think. I think despite the Asian games for the first couple of weeks, I think Son over the season could be good in that midfield as well.
He was on my list. Dang it.
So,
okay.
I think I'm going to go for Son.
Nice.
Like power 5.
All right. I think I'm going to have to start picking the players I like because I've lost a couple now.
Yeah, don't say
like. Vardy was my next pick when it came back around, and I've lost him. And I wasn't going to particularly like him, Willian, but he was on my list to be picked. But if it was like 5th choice, if I got to it, and I do like Ramsey as well, and that's gone. So I am going to go for, I think, 2 midfielders. One on my watch list, one not, because I thought consistency, same reason Ericsson was picked. I think, I watched this accidentally. Dele Alli has got to be picked.
A lot of comments in the chat about Ali. Lots of people are saying pick Ali, pick Ali. So
that's all right.
This isn't
Wait, Kurt's done something that agrees with the chat.
I don't.
I can't believe Kurt's actually gone with the chat for once.
I just went with him because I never liked Ali. I just think Ali's going to have a horrible season, just like Salah. That's the only reason. Joking aside, I think my second pick in midfield is someone that is going to take this season by storm. I spoke about him before and I'll speak about him again until we scored about, 10 goals, assisted about 50, and that's Siggy.
Damn it.
Big fan of Siggy, and I think this season he's going to have a wonderful season. Bolster midfield a bit. Needed it.
Cool.
Okay, it's back to me. So I'm yet to pick a defender or a goalkeeper, but I've still got one forward spot left as well. So this could be interesting. Is there any forwards worth considering here?
Brett's considering, can he play 0 at the back?
Yeah, I guess because I've got 5 midfielders, I don't really need a big forward now. There's no need for it. So I think it's probably time to start, even though Jesus is still available. So that's an interesting one. But again, the rotation with Aguero, I'm not Jesus's biggest fan. He's not explosive enough for me. So I think I'm going to probably look at my defenders now. So let's have a quick check at the watch list. I probably haven't got any defenders on the watch list, to be fair. Oh, I've got a couple. There's still a lot of good defenders available here. A lot of love in the chat for Mendy, saying go for Mendy, good option. But for me, because he was injured last year, we don't know too much about him. I think Kyle Walker is still available here. Kyle Walker will play the full season. He had a good year last year. So for me, he's possibly the best defender. I want to get some Man City cover in defence. So I think I'm going to go for Kyle Walker as a consistent throughout the season kind of pick.
That's a nice pick.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to finish off my midfield.
Cool.
With who, I'm not 100% sure. Now, there are, of course, players at bigger clubs I could be considering. But
Fellaini.
A lot of them I'm just not sure about. So I've actually got a watch list, and I'm going to say them all because I'm not picking a midfielder after this. So I've got Diego Jota from Wolves, just because I think his stats from the Championship are good enough that even though there'll probably be a drop-off in his performances, he could still have a very good season. And then I've got 2 West Ham midfielders because I think they're both class, Yarmolenko and Felipe Anderson. Just whether I think they will hit the ground running. I've seen them in pre-season, so I am probably going to actually go with Felipe Anderson just so I can say I've got a Brazilian in my side. And that is my midfield done. I know that's probably not going to...
on West Ham, Arsenal and Spurs in the attack.
Well, I've got transfers to change it. I'm going for teams that I think are going to have a decent start to the season. They're doing well in pre-season. That's my kind of thinking behind it.
Who did you pick, sorry?
Felipe Anderson.
Okay. And before that, who are your 2 picks? Or did you just have the one?
I only have one. I don't get 2 picks.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
It's all right. I'm not lucky to be at the end or the beginning.
Okay.
Lucky to be at the end. I got last at the first picks.
So you didn't get Jota, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I didn't take him.
Oh, you did.
I
didn't take him.
I mean, if it stops you picking him, yeah, I took him. He's my 6th midfielder.
Okay. I'm a bit torn here. I don't know whether to carry on with my midfield or whether I should try and get a few more on my defence because it's looking a bit weak at the minute. And I do have an idea who I could go for if I go for the defence. So I'm thinking I'm going to get... maybe not. I thought I was, but I'm not. I don't know. Oh, crap. Time's running out. I think I need... Oh, that's because I'm not in the right place. That's helpful. Okay. I am going to go with...
The suspense is building here.
It's going to choose for me if I'm not quick enough.
Left.
I know.
Ooh.
Oh,
Like, not even said his name, just click.
Yeah.
And Nim's gone with ooh, as we could hear.
It's a good thing I do have the screen of the draft up. Otherwise, if it was just us, like, ooh, who's just going for?
With the facial expressions, though, make it a
Oh
better
yeah,
stream.
true.
Yeah, we probably should switch between them at some point just to make sure people aren't stuck with the same screen.
I mean, the sad thing is, we've got a lot of people watching, and our faces aren't there. They might be trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
There was a lot of love for your Felipe Anderson pick, Jay.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, Shashank was saying go for Felipe Anderson and De Pellegrini. West Ham will be strong attacking wise. I think D-Raj was who's in the chat. He was trying to get you to pick Gross as well, Pascal Gross. I think he's a bit disappointed you haven't gone for him.
Sorry. I always worried that a promoted side do worse in their second season than they usually do in their first.
Okay,
not always, of course, but
two people. I am gonna go with a Chelsea defender because I don't have one. I'm gonna go with Golonzo. I don't think he'll be as pro-efficient with goals this season, but Chelsea is still, pretty good when it comes to defence. So that's my kind of hope there, really.
I suppose without the price, it doesn't really make him too bad of a pick.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
True.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, I'm actually going to go straight to goalkeepers now then. I just don't know which... Because I still want a pair that rotate.
Oh, never mind.
What's going on?
Did you think somebody was...
I actually
clicked
away. I clicked away and I thought that was...
That was it. You're done.
Me, but...
All your players are now free. Let's go. Trying to think, do I try and get in... Well, no, I shouldn't say that, because then that automatically tells you who else I'm going for. So I'm actually going to go for something different now, because I may have given my strategy away. So I'm going to go with... I think we'll get the most beats of big teams that aren't... Probably going to be Liverpool.
Someone like Brighton.
So I'm going to go... I'm going to go Alisson.
Nice.
He doesn't.
He was on my list.
I'm hoping he doesn't come in and have an awful season in the Premier League.
He
like some
wasn't too
keepers
great
do.
at the World Cup. I have to say that. I didn't.
Yeah, but Brazil aren't always that great defensively anyway.
No. I mean, in this instance, I'd go for him. I'm just not sure whether I'd be considering him for my FPL team. Not until I've seen a bit more of him, But in this instance, it's worth it. I think you may as well. So.
This is a tough one. I need to add to my defence now. There's a few good defenders still available.
Just going to say to OS, I think, who's in the chat, he says he's an Arsenal fan. Hello, OS. He says he's an Arsenal fan, but Chelsea have a solid defence, and I agree with him there. So just wanted to kind of pick that out. Go on. Where you at?
I'm going to take not a gamble again, but there's a lot of comments in the chat about a certain player, and I'm not gonna go for that player. I'm gonna go for, even though there's no prices in draft, but I'm going for a kind of a more value pick, I suppose, because I just think he's going to have a very good season. So I'm going to go for Alexander Arnold. I'm not over the season. I'm not concerned about this whole competition with Klein. I think Alexander Arnold's going to have a good season.
Yeah, I nearly took him, but yeah.
We've seen him take free kicks in the past as well. He could pop up with a free kick, and he likes to get forward. So I need to get some, some defensive coverage from Liverpool involved. And obviously with Robertson being taken, I think Alexander Arnold's the next best option in terms of a fullback. So I'm going to go for him.
Cool. Like that.
There's still a lot of very good
about my
midfielders
because I got 4. They're 4 from pretty decent teams. Should have a good season. My attacker I like. I think I need to bolster probably defender and attacker this time round. I've got an eye on my attacker. But again, this one I generally don't think people are going to pick. And the chat is, I think someone commented before, I'm a man of the people. They're not going to say it after I've picked my striker. Because it's a bad pick.
The salad dodger is the man of the people with 51% picks.
I'm just lucky to be in the 49% that know their fantasy football. That's all I'm going to say. That's a weird dig at you three, though, so I'm going to apologise for that one.
I wasn't going to say anything there. I was just going to leave that.
With me defence, though, I've got Man United covered, and apart from probably Valencia, he's the only nailed on Man United defender that will play. Chelsea I've got, Liverpool I've got, Man City I could do with, and I think because his rank is so low because he didn't play last season, I believe Mendy should be a good pick.
A lot of people in the chat are mentioning Mendy as well.
But for me, attacker, I think the one that I'm going to leave is... I think I'm going to leave him. I'm going to go with one that I believe could be a bit of a risk, but shouldn't matter too much in the long run, but will score you goals. Chris Wood, big fan of his.
Interesting. Back to me. Now, earlier I was saying about obviously not really having to fill my forward spot because I've got, a power 5 there. But with Son leaving in September for the Asian Games, there's going to be a month there where I'm going to only be able to play the 4 midfielders. So I think there's an opportunity there to actually get another good, strong forward. And at least then that kind of covers Son when he's away. So I might have I haven't got long to gander through these now. I've only got a minute really, but I mean, Jesus is still available. Zaha's still there as well.
Yep.
They're the sort of two that are jumping out to me from the forwards that are remaining. So we've got Jesus and Zaha that are sort of jumping out to me from the forwards that are remaining. Defenders, guys, a lot of good defenders as well. I think I'm just gonna go all out attack, I think, and go for Zaha. Obviously Jesus is a quality player. It's just that concern over minutes and Aguero, and I think Zaha is the main man, for Palace. Granted, he could move clubs, but that's still not going to affect him as a pick for me throughout the season. I still think he's going to be okay, and I'm going to go for Wilfried Zaha as my third forward.
So this pick is purely stop anyone else getting him. So I'm picking Lloris. So people don't have one of the nailed on options in Spurs defence.
Cool. A bit of tactical decision making there. I like it.
Another hoops with the comment, 75% of people in this draft will be panicking when Salah plays due to all this sort of Salah talking 49%, 50%.
Oh, Kurt, you won't be worrying.
No. I'm fine. I know what he's going to do. He'll blank first 3 game weeks. He's going to be the new Kane. Calling it.
But can't score in August anymore.
Okay. I'm a little bit worried that I don't have some cover in some teams. That is for sure. So I'm quite concerned that... Let me have a look at Spurs.
Someone in the chat saying Welbeck, Nim. Do you fancy maybe going for Welbeck?
I think Chef put it perfectly when he said he's made of cheese string. So I might be avoiding that one.
I personally can't see Welbeck doing anything at Arsenal anymore. I think he needs to move.
No.
I think Arsenal have gone past Welbeck.
I am going to go with because I think he might be the more. No, I don't. I don't know. Oh gosh. I'm running out of time again. I'm panicking. Oh no.
20 seconds.
Oh, don't do this to me. Crap.
15 seconds.
Stop it. I'm going to pick Richarlison. It's going to be me again. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Okay. What's the matter with Valencia? Why is he yellow?
That'll be a knock. I think there's worries he won't start the season.
Because Brett wants to pick him.
Imagine Brett just went through like highlighting yellow all the players he wants.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't pick them. Got a knock. Does that mean we're going to race when we hear news of a player returning to fitness? Like all of us are going to be jumping on to the draft and trying to sign.
Do you think we can make any before the beginning of the?
I have no idea. I'm not
Probably
going to
maybe from the pool, like the people that are still available. You could.
I did read somewhere that straight after a draft you should just go and look at the pool of players still available because there might be someone that everyone missed. So I'm assuming you can.
Okay, cool. Well, then that makes it less stressy, doesn't it, really?
I suppose that is the thing, really, because I'm talking about picking players throughout the season, but you can swap at the end of the day. So you could pick someone for the first 2 months of the season if they had good fixtures, maybe I didn't give that enough thought before, but it's not like you're stuck with them forever if you don't want them,
Do we think Bailly will start the beginning of the season for Man United?
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
That really sounded like you were like, I don't actually know, but I'm going to say, yeah, go for it.
Fellaini's a nailed-on starter, though, for Man United, now we're talking about it.
Bailly is absolutely nailed on. He's never had a poor defensive record before, I don't think, has he?
Just Mourinho says so much stuff. I never know who's nailed on.
Poor injury record, sorry.
I know. Now you're worrying me.
No, you got 8 seconds.
7 seconds.
7, 6.
Oh, no.
I went with Jesus because then if Aguero doesn't play, Jesus might.
So you've got both. Interesting. Aguero and Jesus. That is our attack.
I can only look at defence now. So I'm hoping this is a fairly nailed on Man City defender in Otamendi.
Yeah, he's got to be, hasn't he?
Not going to say any more than that. I don't think it needs explaining, really.
No, not at all. I think he's an option in draft, which is more appealing because he's not 6.5, because it's any price here, so it doesn't matter. Like Kurt was saying about Alonso earlier. Obviously, in the actual game, Otamendi 6.5 for a centre-back's a bit like, oh, do I want to pay that money for a centre-back who might not score as many as he did last year, But for a draft pick, I think he's very good. Right. For me, I haven't got enough Spurs coverage. I've only got Son. I think it's important. I think it's important to get some of the defence in now. I know they can be a bit dodgy with rotation, the fullbacks. They've got 4 good fullbacks that keep rotating, but for me, it's between 2. It's between Ben Davies and Trippier for me, and it's a question of which one. Obviously, Ben Davies will start the season, Trippier won't. But after the World Cup that Trippier had, free kicks, good delivery, he's tempting as well.
Who took Zaha? I missed that.
I got Zaha.
Oh my God, your team is scary. Yes, yes, Momo, I am going with the Shark team. Proper Shark team attack.
I think I'm going to go for Ben Davies. Nice. I do like Trippier, and I was just
looking at both of them, and I just thought, can I trust Spurs not to be like terrible in defence at the start of the season? I just couldn't quite bring myself to.
Yeah, I've opted for Ben Davies. It was between him and Trippier. They obviously both at risk of being rotated because Spurs have got 4 fullbacks. Really got Danny Rose and Aurier waiting in the wings as well, waiting to take their full back places. So I've gone for Davis. Him or Trippier is a coin flip, really. Both good picks, I think.
Nice. I really have to like stop looking at the chat now that I can, and literally, yeah, make sure that I don't like panic next time and just check anybody in, because there are some, I would say I've put in some questionable picks.
That's where the fun is.
Just a bit. Yeah, not loving that. Probably shouldn't have gone 2 City up top. I don't know what everyone thinks about that, but
What, Aguero and Jesus?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, no, you've got them covered, haven't you? No matter who plays, you're getting that Man City attacker in.
but the problem is, if one of them starts, then the other one comes on, you're going to get 1 point if they're starting, and the bench player will be that potentially. I've just literally seen someone I could bring in. I haven't got any Spurs coverage at the back, so I'm going to go for Tongan.
Nice.
Use me of a flip of a coin.
Bit more nailed on, I suppose, isn't he? Bit more nailed.
Look, Alderweireld is due to leave. There's 7, for normal FPL, seven defenders, I think, rated 6.0 in the millions. So you're flipping a coin for most of them, but I think he's generally nailed. Won't do too much, but get a lot of clean sheets. My other striker, which is going to, after the Salah moment, make the chat hate on me, is a man by the name of Alvaro Morata.
Interesting.
I don't see much wrong with that pick, to be fair. If
No,
he's still leading the
I
line
don't
at
either.
Chelsea, then good pick if he stays.
It's a pick that could pay off, We're talking in the last room about people that could bounce back, and, he could do well this season. You never know. Make sure everyone in the chat to get subscribed and like this video too, if you're watching. Hope you're enjoying the stream.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. Sorry, it's been like a lot of draft, and it's hard to fit everything in on one screen, and Jay's doing a fantastic job at like trying to get you to see everything you need to see. So
yeah, I'm not getting to look at my side as much as I'd have liked, to be fair.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's still some quality defenders left here. At the moment, I've got no United coverage at the back, and we know how good they are defensively. We know how Mourinho likes to set his team up. You've got Ashley Young, who probably won't start the season, but he had a good year at left back. But will he still play there? I think Valencia is probably the most nailed, isn't he? He's had a good couple of seasons at right back. Valencia likes to get forward. Normally, he's 6 million, 6.5 is hard to obtain in the regular game. So almost you kind of get priced out of him in the regular game. But in this draft, I think Valencia is a good pick. So I'm going to go for him as my 4th defender.
Ooh, I was thinking that, but I thought with the yellow, I was a little bit worried that he wouldn't.
The dreaded yellow warning sign.
Yeah, the dreaded yellow warning sign.
Don't forget Phil Jones last year. There was yellow warning sign every week, and he still played every game.
And the thing is, his yellow sign is for game week 1. It's not for the whole season. It's a whole season game.
Not lifelong. It's not lifelong. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what to do.
Welcome to my world.
Well, my idea for you would be to pick a defender because you've only got one.
Have you only got one defender?
And I can't pick. I can't pick anything else. If I tried to pick something else, the game might like.
I thought you had a goalkeeper to pick. I didn't realise that.
What do you mean?
Yeah, he's got 2 premium keepers there as well. I didn't realise that. Alisson and Lloris. Nice.
So I am going to get Liverpool coverage in my defence with Van Dijk.
That's a good pick. He was definitely one of my options.
I'm just hoping he converts more of his chances this season than he did last season, because he had a lot of chances, just none of them went in.
Yeah, a lot
so
of
you've got 2 Liverpool defenders.
Yep.
Wow.
They did have an excellent defensive record at home last year. 10 goals conceded at home. Liverpool, the second best at home record, I think. And they had like maybe 1 or 2 less clean sheets than United over the period of the season.
You're trying to talk me into one now.
Yeah, well, once they signed Van Dijk, the defence at Liverpool was quite formidable, actually.
So who is more nailed on at the back there left then? Are we talking Lovren? Does he play every week?
I think now you're running risky territory with Liverpool defenders, because I think Robertson and Van Dijk are the nailed on ones. And for me personally, the only other one that would have interested me was Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think with Lovren, you've got Matip.
And Klavan as well. Lovren is still the first choice at the moment. So I think it's the safer of those three. Lovren, Matip, Klavan. Obviously, Lovren's the first choice out of those three. But I agree with what Jay's saying, that the three most important for that defence have been taken now.
I am going to go with...
He is the best defender in the world, though, Lovren, according to him.
I'm not actually going to go with him, I don't think. Not at least this time. I think I'm going to go with Jones.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I had him last season and he did pretty well for me. And
in draft, do you get extra points for blocking stuff with your head? Because Jones would get a lot of points for that.
He would.
And pulling faces. Jones is on 20 points a week.
Yeah, maximum bonus points for that every game week.
Now there is both Schmeichel and Courtois left. So do I go Schmeichel in the hope that he does go to Chelsea? Or do I go Courtois in the hope he stays at Chelsea?
Yeah, true. That's an interesting choice, that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All I'm saying is there's a reason Rob Green's been signed.
To be the number one striker striker?
That's a career change.
Rob Green. You heard it here first.
Can I remove Morata from my team?
Get Rob Green in. If he scores a goal this season, this needs to go out on Twitter.
You're not going to be laughing then, are you? That's all I'm saying. Right, Schmeich's in. He's in. I'm thinking I do have Edders, so it's not like if he stays at Leicester, it's a terrible pick, because I can just put him in for a good fix.
True.
So, yeah.
You just need a midfielder and a striker then, and you're sorted.
No, I've got my strikers.
A midfielder and a defender, sorry.
Yeah, that's me then.
It's back to Jay.
Yeah.
I put my house on him picking a defender.
I think I'm going to go for coverage of the top teams and then hope that if I'm wrong with the pick, I can transfer in someone else from that side, which could have just given away a way to completely ruin my defence. Just pick all the rest of their defence. The obvious ones have been picked already. It's Chelsea coverage. I don't have it in defence, and I'm gonna go for Cahill and hope no one else picks any of the other ones. That then means I can't bring him in.
Interesting.
Now we get to the nitty gritty, lads.
We are, and there's people in the chat mentioning a lot of good defenders that are still available. Really, especially Spurs coverage. Look at Alderweireld is still there. Trippier is still there.
I can't do an Arsenal defender, mate. Sorry, DD. I can't do it. Not until I know we're okay at the back now with the new keeper and all. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
yeah, I mean, I've got no Arsenal coverage. Defensive wise, I've got 2 players from them already. Someone's mentioning Bellerin. I've read that Unai Emery does like to rotate his fullbacks quite a lot, in his previous clubs, and that's what's concerning me about Bellerin.
I read somewhere today that he's going to play 3-3-4. That's his formation. Apparently, he had a folder in his hand, and somebody took a picture and
Did they not get 4-3-3 upside down? First of all.
Yeah, possibly.
Just to cover that off quickly.
3-3-4 then, all right. It's just in me to always start at the back and work forward. I can't help it. She says picking Salah first. But, you know.
I'm running out of time here, but this is a really tough one now. There's a player I think maybe John might have been referencing to a player for Chelsea who I really like, but he's not an attacking fullback. He's a centre-back, and I really like him at Chelsea. I think he's going to have a very good season, but you've got Trippier there. Do I double up on the Spurs defence? I'll double up on them.
No, don't do that. Spurs.
Someone wants a Spurs player.
No, I'm done. I've only got one.
I've gone for Trippier.
I don't have any. I don't have any.
See, that's
I've
interesting.
Got Davis and Trippier now.
Because I was actually contemplating getting Trippier, and then on my next defender pick, getting Aurier. So I've got the right back no matter what. But I can't do that now.
Yeah, sure. I think, for favourable home fixtures, I've got the option to play both. And, if I am in doubt that they're going to start, then I can keep them on my bench. I've got the option there, and I've got a very strong back five there. So I think to have Davis and Trippier, it is decent. And there's a few, like I said, we can always trade these, and there's a lot of good defenders still out there available. There's a couple at Chelsea I thought about taking a punt on, but I still don't know enough about the new manager and how Chelsea will set up yet. So I think Trippier is a bit of a safer pick for now. A lot of people are mentioning Maguire as well. And I mean, if he move to United, if we drafted him now and he moved to United, for example, I think he would be outstanding at United. But because Leicester are quite leaky, I'm not too sure about him as a pick.
You're kind of reliant on that attack, aren't you?
You are.
Yeah. Somebody asked, am I an Arsenal fan? Yes, I'm an Arsenal fan for all my sins, I'm afraid. But very closely followed by City. I'm a bit nervous I don't have any Spurs, now, lads. It's starting to panic.
Oh, Shane just mentioned the comments about Moses, and he was another player I was almost taking a punt on Moses.
You did really well. You did really well with him in the World Cup, didn't you? At the beginning?
It's just a question of, where's he going to play? Is he going to play? Is Azpilicueta going to take right back now? It's a bit scary, that one. But I do like Moses because his attacking stats are still very good.
I have gone my last defender as Cresswell. I feel like he's quite decent.
Yeah, I remember Jay saying something about him in one of his live streams, and I thoroughly agreed with him.
And I don't particularly need a big defender because I've got Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City and Tottenham, so that's not an issue for me. My issue is my final midfielder. I am desperately struggling.
Desperately? Oof.
I have not a clue.
That is.
And unfortunately, in my watch list is still Fellaini. And I'm thinking, do I just do it for the banter? Do I just do it for no other reason apart from the fact he's one of the greatest human beings?
Some sort of cat in the chat if you want, Kurt. Some sort of cat emoji in the chat if you want.
I'm looking across my coverage. Man United in Pogba for the attack. I've got Man City in Sane. I've got Tottenham in Ali. Liverpool in Firmino. I've got Chelsea in Morata. Arsenal aren't a big team, so... and most of them have been picked anyway, so it doesn't even matter anyway. I could go Xhaka, but then he'd probably get sent off half the time.
Lots of people saying Hazard. They can't believe Hazard hasn't been picked yet.
It is tempting. It is very tempting. He is just sitting there. But to give myself a bit more time, I'm going to play a safe option. I've got my defenders sorted, and I feel like this... I'm assuming he hasn't been picked. No, this is a safe pick. He's not going to play much, but I'm certain I'm going to have a keeper playing then. Just double up on Man United, Romero. They're going to get clean sheets, so... Well, I hope, at least. But go for the best and always have a Man United player in the defence that way.
Cool, okay. So I've just got goalkeepers to go. There's still a few decent ones out there. I think I'm going to go for Leno at Arsenal, just for their home record. Granted, it's a new manager now, but they're always very solid at home. Their away record was terrible last year, but I think Leno for the home fixtures for Arsenal, I think he's going to be a good pick for the season. And obviously, with a lot of the big keepers already taken now, I think Leno's probably the next best to opt for. So he's my next choice.
Oh, so I have 2 defenders left. I was going to go for a Tottenham defender, but all the options I would have been happy going for are gone. I could just go for Arsenal coverage, so I've at least got that. I do like the way their pre-season is going, but it's just which Arsenal player to go for. I don't really know enough about their formation to be confident in my Arsenal pick.
Who are you considering from Arsenal, John?
It would probably be Bellerin, because I'm just assuming they don't have someone else at right back that would oust him.
Lichtsteiner.
Oh yes, they've just signed him, haven't they? Thanks for
I think
completely
he's more of a
destroying it.
backup, though. He is. I think he is just.
No, but from what I've heard, he likes to be a bit more defensive with his wing backs, and Lichtsteiner would be more defensive than Bellerin.
True. True.
Damn you, Kurt! I've just wasted a minute thinking about Bellerin.
I wasted most of the stream thinking about
lovely
Fellaini,
hair,
but that's
isn't
not
it?
for.
It's a lovely hair. He loves to draw you in, doesn't he, Kurt, with players with good hair.
There's a guy in the chat, the Blaster. He's bemused that no one's gone for Hazard. He's almost angry about it. So I think someone needs to pick Hazard soon.
Well, I can't. It can't be me.
You almost can't believe it.
It can't be me because I just don't have a midfielder.
Yeah, same.
Are you putting this on me? Are you putting this on me?
I'm gonna go with Ashley Young. Get a Man United defender in there.
I can't believe that you've left Hazard with me.
If someone does pick Hazard, everyone has to put loads of emojis in the chat. Loads of explosion emojis going in the chat if someone picks Hazard.
See, now I'm kind of between him and Pedro because I know Pedro scored pre-season. The other thing is that Hazard's not nailed to stay and he's been at the World Cup. So do I really risk it? Plus, every time I get him, apart from 2 seasons ago, he's been awful for me. So
the Blaster is going to be very upset if you don't pick Hazard. Just so you know, this guy in the comments is going to be.
If you push me into this and he ends up banging, you're going to really regret it.
That's why I'm saying nothing. I'm not saying anything.
Whoa.
You really regret it because then you'll be like, why did I push her to do it? She's winning the league with Hazard. All right, it's done. He's in. There you go. Everyone, leave me alone now.
To be honest, I think he's still unhappy it's taken us that long to pick him.
No, I genuinely think that's a really good pick. To be fair,
right.
if he stays, I'm gutted he's not in my team. To be honest, after the World Cup that Hazard had as well, and in a 4-3-3, he could be top drawer this season.
I now have to choose one more defender. I don't really want it to be. I would have liked a Spurs defender if I'm honest, but I don't think there's anyone left, is there? Not of anywhere. Sanchez, Alderweireld. Do we think he's nailed to stay?
He seems to want to leave.
He's got only a year left, hasn't he, on his contract? So
yeah, a bit worrying that.
I think he will though. I think he'll be fine. Not just saying that either. No. I genuinely mean that. But yeah.
I'm trying to find attacking defenders, and I feel like I've just forgotten everybody. Okay.
It won't let me even look at. I can't look at defenders now because obviously I picked them all, so I can't really assist.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of good ones out there, I think. Maybe not from an attacking perspective, but is Mendy still available? Has anyone taken
Mendy's
Mendy?
been taken.
I've taken
Mendy.
Mendy.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm thinking Tarkowski of Burnley. Just as a bit of a punt. Well, he's not really a punt, but it's like him, me, or yeah, gonna go with him, Tarko. There we go. That's me. Done.
I suppose you got him for Burnley's good home record, clean sheets. Yeah. So as an option to come off your bench or to start him for the home games, certainly.
Hey, I'm probably going to go. I was very tempted to just go Bellerin now anyway, just so I do have that Arsenal cover defence. I'm
I really wouldn't worry about having Arsenal cover, to be honest, in defence. But that's just personal preference of years of living through watching our defence leak goals. So,
It could change. Have faith. I'm very tempted by Ward of Burnley. Because when he did play last season...
Yeah, it was only because of that injury, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That sort of slowed him down.
I do worry about them having Europa League, though, as well. That's the issue there. Me was very good for me last year, very reliable. But again, Europa League now. I think Me's probably more nailed on to play no matter what. Centre-backs usually are more likely to be able to carry on playing. I'm going to go for Ward for now. I think, I've clicked it, so that's that team done.
Cool. Good stuff, mate.
2 down.
Cool. So it's my last pick. I've just got one more goalkeeper to go, and I'm pretty happy with the goalkeeper that's left, actually. I think by going for Pickford, I'm kind of safe. I think he'll have a decent season at Everton, but if he does get this move to Chelsea, then it's a win-win either way, really. Pickford obviously had a great World Cup. He's a good option. Everton and Arsenal rotate well at the opening of the season as well for me. So I'm going to go for Pickford as my second goalkeeper. And that's me drafted.
Very good, very good.
Fellaini.
Oh,
It's got to be Fellaini now.
I have generally considered it because I've looked at my team and I thought my goalkeepers, if De Gea gets injured, I've got Romero, I've got Man United coverage. In my defence, I've got a solid 4, Cresswell to come in if anyone's injured, or if West Ham have a really sort of tidy looking fixture. My attack, I've got Firmino and Morata, who should be playing. Wood, who might not be playing with Europa League, so I could probably switch Wood and Morata around if need be. I've got 4 who are definitely going to play for their clubs. Well, Sane probably will be caught in the Pep rotation at some point. So I have just literally looked at players who've scored. I've looked at different things. You can sort by minutes played and points per match. And I think he played nigh on 3,000 minutes last season, scored all right, played behind the striker. So could have the sort of Josh King sort of season this season and just risk it really and go with Pascal Gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we're all done.
Complete.
Wow. So, does it show you all of our teams, Jay, on the...
I can have a look.
Probably not, I should imagine, because obviously now's...
I mean, I've got
Unless
Kurt
we just go
saying
back to the... Unless we go...
What?
You can go onto the draft rune again. You can click on that.
Yes, I see it.
Cool.
And then, I can get it on the right. I can't get it in your usual,
Unless
layout.
we just go on our faces and just talk at everyone through our teams.
We can do. So I'm just looking at mine now, and at the moment I'm fairly worried already. Because I've just looked at how I might actually play my team in the first week, and Edison has Arsenal, and if Schmeichel stays where he is, he has Man United. So hopefully one of those is going to make a lot of saves. Otherwise, I'm in a lot of trouble to start with already. Then I've gone for Van Aanholt, hoping he'll do the business me. He's been on Twitter, like I say, bigging it up that he will do well, so I'm hoping he will. I've gone with Coleman, probably a bit of nostalgia on this one. That might get he might get changed because I was really liking Everton defence initially. Coleman was in my team initially, and the more that I'm seeing pre-season and the more I'm seeing the regularity of these defenders, the normal defenders for Everton starting and them still leaking a lot of goals and not really getting many attacking returns back, I'm a little bit worried about that pick. It was I have 2 seconds left. He's on the list. Quick, put him in. Then I got Golonzo. Not really sure he'd be Golonzo this season, but I'm still hoping to bank on some Chelsea clean sheets. Salah was the first person in. I was a bit lucky there to be first. I've gone with Rambo for Arsenal because I couldn't get Lacazette or Aubameyang, so a bit disappointed there. Then I've gone with Sterlino, hoping that he can recreate some good form again. Then I am gone for Richarlison, and that's because he's just done really well in pre-season, and I feel like if Everton are going to do well, it'll be in their attack this season. Then I picked Hazard because, you know, I was strong-armed into it. So
you were bullied into it by your own fans.
Bullied into it by by the fans of the Wildcats. Then I have Lukaku, which I'm pretty happy with. I know he won't start because of the World Cup. In fact, all three of my strikers might not start because of the World Cup, so that could be interesting.
That would be interesting.
So, yeah, that could be very interesting. And then Jesus and Aguero. So I've definitely gone Shark team up front. I was kind of playing the rotation game there. That's all that was. Might not stay the same now. I've just realised that, you know, I might not have a starting striker. And then I have Jones, who faces Leicester if he starts the beginning of the season, and Tarko for Burnley, who's against Southampton. So, yeah, just can I not play a striker and just play a load of defenders and midfielders?
Which I think you have to have one.
Dang it. Maybe I just put on Aguero and then leave the other two with backups if he doesn't play. But yeah, that's my team. So who was next in picks?
It was me, I believe.
Ooh, so if you wanna talk.
So I'm looking at my team, and to be honest, I'm quite happy with how it lines up for the beginning of the season and for the first game week. Got Alisson. Then in defence, Lloris as well as the other goalkeeper. So I'm assuming Alisson will be ready for the start of the season. Goalkeepers generally can be ready earlier. Hopefully I don't end up with neither of my goalkeepers playing, which would be a disaster. But other than that, we've got Otamendi, Van Dijk, Cahill, Young and Ward in defence. I think pretty much three at the back probably will be the way I go. It's hard to predict right now, but I think with Van Dijk playing West Ham, Otamendi playing Arsenal, probably take him out actually, because Arsenal Man City I believe will be a high scoring game. So probably going Van Dijk, Cahill if I think he's starting, and Young. Ward's also an option against Southampton. Midfield, happy with Eriksen, happy with Silva starting. Mkhitaryan, not so sure about. Willian, could be Pedro starting instead of Willian. We'll have to wait and see on that.
I suppose Pedro's still available, isn't he?
Yes,
so, he hasn't been drafted. So,
well, the problem is one of you could quite easily bring him in before I do, and then I've got to make a different decision.
Probably shouldn't have reminded us that.
If I see Willian go, Pascal Gross is out.
I'm definitely going to be looking at your teams and thinking potentially I could be trying to take players that you might be looking at to fix your teams. Then up front,
what do you mean fix our teams, cheek?
Hey,
mine
it's in the game.
I mean, I might not have a striker at the start at the beginning of the season, but why does that matter? It's fine. I'll catch you all on the later half. It's all good.
And then Kane, Arnautovic and Lacazette up front, probably starting with Lacazette and Kane. Or not Kane. I don't think Kane's going to start, so it'll probably be Arnautovic. I think I'm happy with the players I'll have available for the beginning, and then got some big hitters that should be coming in once they are fit and ready to play.
Awesome.
Nice. Who was next? It was Brett, wasn't it?
Yes, it was me. Yeah, I mean, I did kind of leave the defenders till last in that draft, and I've still ended up with a defence that I'm pretty happy with, to be fair. I think that shows the strength of defenders available, really, when you're not playing the actual game and there's no prices, and you're thinking throughout the season. Even the centre-backs are a lot more appealing then, aren't they? But yeah, I've kind of, I've gone for a very powerful midfield. So the likes of De Bruyne, Mane, Ozil, Sanchez, Son. That's 5 very, very strong midfielders. Which is kind of, then inadvertently kind of weakened my forward line a little bit. So with the likes of Vardy and Zaha up front, they're perhaps not as strong as the likes of Kane and Aguero and these players, but I still think they're very good options to have. Very happy to have Aubameyang. I think this year he should deliver a lot of goals. And like I said before, I've got that power 5 midfield, but when Son goes away to the Asian Games, I've still got some good forwards to bring in there to switch in for him anyway. You've got, Davis and Trippier at the back, 2 Spurs defenders. Hard to predict how often they'll play, but they're the 2 favoured players, aren't they? Rose and Aurier come in the side, but I think Trippier and Davis are the favoured players for Pochettino. And, Spurs at home last year, 10 clean sheets out of 19 games at home. Granted, they're moving stadium, so maybe it takes them a bit of time to settle. That's something that I'm considering for the real FPL game. Whether Spurs or not is a good option because of that stadium move. But Valencia, for United, very consistent option, solid. And I'm quite happy to have Trent as well because I think he's going to have a good season. And then my 2 goalkeepers, Pickford, Leno, not the strongest of options compared to the likes of De Gea, Ederson, but 2 goalkeepers that do rotate nicely. I think Arsenal should be very good at home defensively. And if Pickford does get that move to Chelsea, then he'll be all the better as a pick. So, I think it's a strong side. But then again, with this draft and only 4 of us, we've all got pretty strong sides, haven't we, to be fair? So it's quite exciting to be able to have all these players in our team at one time.
Yeah, I'm very, very jealous of you having Aubameyang, I have to admit. I really, really am. Him or Lacazette would definitely have been my kind of, my one.
Were you too quick to click with Salah, do you think? Is there any regrets there?
No regret. No salad regrets.
Do you want to swap?
We'll come back to that question.
I should have left trade, shouldn't I? I should have left the trade on because you'd all be running to me when you want Hazard. I'm not sure if that's an option now once you've done it. I doubt it, but so Kurt, did you talk us through yours or?
I haven't yet. No, I believe my team is fantastic. I wouldn't change it for the world. I am quite disappointed because I toast up my team and it's 107.5 million. I didn't pick anyone 10 million or above, and I thought I would do that. There's 3 9.5s in Sane, Ali and Firmino, 9 million in Morata, 8 in Pogba. So I had all these players to pick and I didn't pick anyone that was really expensive. So that could come back to haunt me if they all do well. But I think I started pretty early from the back and that's going to be a backbone of where most of my points come from. De Gea and Romero double up means that I'm always going to have a Man United keeper. So if De Gea gets injured or has to leave or gets suspended, let's say, for any sort of reason.
Jay put that idea in your mind, didn't you? When he said about him getting injured, you were like,
I didn't. To be honest, I wouldn't have changed De Gea for much because I think if you look at his stats from last season, it still doesn't show it on that mode. Damn it! If you look at his stats from last season, once I pull them up, he got 18 clean sheets and there's 38 games. So that's almost 1 in every 2 games. That's and he's made loads of saves as well. So I think those 2 will double up quite nicely. My defence is as solid as it can get. Azpilicueta in 4 at the back will play right back. If they continue with 3 at the back, his role there gets him so many bonus points. I did a video on premium defenders and I think he got 25 bonus points last season. So it's a ridiculous amount when you consider he played centre-back. Robertson, played just over 20 games.
Long ball forward to Morata, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point, Kurt. 25 bonus points is insane. That's quality.
And I think with Robertson, he played 22 games, 1 goal, 5 assists. If he plays the entire season, which he should do this time round, who knows what he'll get? That can only improve, I think.
Yeah, he was
the way Liverpool play as well. List, so. And Liverpool have improved. So that's one thing we've got to consider. Mendy, I do feel a bit sorry for him from last season. It's probably a bit risk that we haven't seen too much of him, and I'm bringing him in. But Man City coverage, he's their only left back. I think he should be considered higher than Fabian Delph. Vertonghen doesn't do anything going forward. I don't think he's scored for Spurs in his entire career so far, but he's solid. If Spurs get clean sheets, he's going to be there. So
he has got a couple of goals for Tongan. I do remember him, especially when he first signed, he got a goal or 2 against United. I think maybe a free kick or like a long range effort. So he's definitely scored before. But I know what you're saying. I guess he's not the most attacking threat, is he?
Well, his first season, 2012-2013, 5 goals, 3 assists. And since then, those next 5 seasons, he's got 1 goal and 2 assists. So He had an explosive season.
He may have been utilised as left back when he first signed. That could be why he was maybe a bit more threatening going forward then. And now obviously he's been moved into a centre back position.
I do think that.
And just to say about what you say about United, how good they are defensively. 12 clean sheets at home from 19 last year. So, and even seven away from home as well. So that's a very good record.
Yeah, and Vertonghen last season, 16 clean sheets, so you can't argue with that. Cresswell, again, he played for, I think, majority of last season, 1 goal, 7 assists. West Ham have improved with a better manager, improved with better players. Surely now that can only improve his stats for everything, so I think the defence is very solid. Midfield is a question mark, because I haven't really got a statement player, whether it's Salah, Kane, or Aubameyang. I haven't got that player that can say, that's easily one of the better players in the team. Pogba, you never know what you're going to get. If he performs like he did for his best games in the World Cup, it's going to be a great season. But you just know, similar to Arnautovic, it's just when he wants to, he will do it effectively. Sane, if he gets played, is phenomenal, and hopefully he should play. Get the game time with Germany. Not doing very well in the World Cup for once, which is a relief because now he should be back. And Sterling played a lot. Might not be back, so that could give him a chance in the first couple of game weeks to cement his place. Dele Alli's consistent. I looked at before I picked him. I looked at his points per match last season. It was close to 5, so that should be a good staple in my team. Sigurdsson, phenomenal player, and will surely do more than 4 goals and 4 assists. And Gross just played a lot last season in behind the striker, so he's going to be an attacking outlet. My attack is quite weak. Firmino, so I've got the Liverpool coverage. It was the only reason I got him in there early. Mane would have been useful, but of course that's another good pick to have. Morata's a risk because will Giroud play? Is he liked by the new manager? Who knows? But I do think he had an all right season. Was a bit harshly criticised at times and should improve on it this season. And Chris Wood, it's a bit risky, but I think he's a goal scorer. He wasn't really given the whole season, had a couple of injuries as well. Given the whole season, hopefully he's not the striker for the Europa League games if they get through. And he should be an all right striker for my team. But all in all, I think my team's very well balanced, but lacking a sort of statement player, which is my one worry at the moment.
The thing with Morata is, because he could be a very good pick this year, it's like he actually started last season very strongly, didn't he? Got quite a lot of goals, got a hat-trick against Stoke, and, scored an amazing header against United, showed really good signs of a quality player. And then it wasn't that he stopped getting chances, because he was getting so many chances, but he was just not taking any of them. He was missing so many one-on-ones. And, I've watched, kind of montages, clips of the misses that he had. And I guess that it's better to have all those chances than miss them, to not have. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but it's better to be in those and miss them than not have any chances.
Although as an FPL manager, that is not. It's not a pleasant experience. It's really to sit there and watch that every week.
Absolutely not. I'd be I'd be fuming. But if he can turn those chances into goals this year with a manager that maybe trusts him a bit more, and I don't know. Morata could end up being a decent pick. Did anyone draft Mahrez?
No, he's free. No. I think looking at some of the better players that were.
That's the thing, though. Do I squeeze him? Sorry, I was going to say, do I squeeze him in now with having Jesus, Aguero, Sterling?
Can you have more than 3 in a draft?
I think you can have 4 from one team in a draft. Just to let Didi know, I don't think I did have a quick check. I don't think I can now change the league to be to allow trades. I think you have to choose it at the beginning, and then you're kind of stuck. So, unfortunately, I just thought because there's only 4 of us that they were likely. I mean, look, we're already talking about people who haven't got chosen, Mahrez, people like that. So I was kind of hoping there'd be enough players left for us to not need to kind of make backhand deals with one another.
I'll PayPal you £10 for Salah.
Yeah, I'll get you 1,000 subscribers.
Just to confirm your theory, you can have 4 players from one team because. You've got Aguero, Jesus, Sterling, and I just realised you've also got Edison in the same team, Nim. So if you can have 4, you can't have any more.
Cool. That's fine.
What I did find interesting, I didn't realize this.
Swap if I want to.
What I find interesting, what I didn't realize before we started the draft, is that you don't make captain picks. I didn't even realize that until we'd finished the draft and I went into my team. But that's that is interesting, because that kind of doesn't scare me as much. The fact that I haven't got Salah now, that was the biggest concern. Not having Salah or Kane was like, oh, I can't captain them, But because we can't captain anyway, that does relieve the pressure a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Although the person in the draft that I did last season did pick Salah and did win.
Sure.
Even though he had
That's why you picked it so quick.
The rest of the team was like...
The rest of the team were just £4 million players.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, there were like 12 of us, I think, something stupid like that. I don't know how many. I think there was the total number. He was the only one with Salah and he walked it. So
I just want to get your guys' sort of thoughts on a comment from Shashank Bandari. I do apologise if I pronounced that wrong.
I've seen it. I thought you might bring that up.
Yeah, best team on paper is FPL TV. Best defence is mine. Best midfielders is FPL TV, and best forwards is JNO. I just wondered your thoughts on.
Well, I wasn't mentioned there at all, so
worrying.
I take back that hello to Shashank.
Can't block it from the channel, says Nim.
I may as well go. I'll just go.
And my name's in there, so I'm happy. To be honest, my draft didn't go as well as I was planning. I did have a strategy of, because I was confident there were so many defenders to choose from. There's a reason I literally left my 5 last picks with defenders. I was like, forwards are going to be the ones that run out first. So the least I was expecting was to have the best forward lineup. So I'm happy that I at least got that. Midfield, midfield was the next go-to for me. But you, Brett, had already gone for some of the really big hitters in midfield. So my midfield isn't as good as I'd have liked. I was hoping a few more people would go for some defenders earlier on. And then, goalkeepers again. I thought they were... Well, you did disappoint me, Kurt. Thank you. And then I was just so confident there were going to be so many defenders to choose from. That's why I went goalkeepers next. So I did have a strategy, just it didn't work as well as I was hoping.
I think the interesting thing is because you had second pick, it kind of gives you that advantage to get the forwards in first. But then because it came to me and then back to me before it comes to you, it's kind of like me and Kurt had 2 picks between us before you even get another pick, So that's where you then sort of lose out on the midfield options a little bit.
To be honest, Lukaku was there for a while though. I'm surprised. I could have gone Lukaku earlier.
Yeah, I think and you went Bernardo Silva over Sterling as well, which is a really interesting pick, and I guess Bernardo Silva, could be a great choice,
My worry is it's Mahrez, Sterling, and Sane. I worry that I'd get the wrong one out of those 3 because they spent a lot of money on Mahrez. So
we're all in the same boat, but at least with this, we're not it's not a transfer wasted on getting them out. It's like you can just go and you can say, right, okay, that person's not brilliant, but I'd rather that than a kind of pet roulette sort of thing. But just to go back to Shashank's comment, I just want to say I'm cool being the underdog. It's all good. I've been the underdog my whole life.
The undercat, maybe.
The undercat. Yeah, I should say that. The under wildcat.
The thing is, though, Nim, with your midfield, because he says my midfield is the strongest, and I think over the 5 players it probably is. But if you were, for example, playing 3 in midfield, you've got Salah, Hazard, and Sterling. That's that 3. Providing
if they all play.
If they all play,
stay.
Exactly. So there's some uncertainty there, but on paper from last year, there's 3 top picks there, so it could go one of 2 ways. And you've got Salah at the end of the day, so if he can reproduce, then that can, that can always keep you right in amongst it,
Here is a question for you though, Nim. If Salah does start poorly, he does have a rotten sort of time of things at the start. Will you ever consider getting rid of him?
No.
When you and for any sort of big players that you know can score points, like Kane and Aubameyang, let's say, and Eriksen, just those sort of players, would anyone consider getting rid of them if they had a poor run of things in the Premier League?
For me, in draft, at least rather than FPL, I would consider it after a period of time. I'm not going to say never, never. And also last season when there was injury, I didn't hold on to them. Like if I knew they were going to be out for a couple of weeks, unless I was like, I think I had Jesus in my draft last season actually, and he did spend a fair amount of time on the bench because of injury. But then did come back in at the end of the season, I think it was, and did quite well for me. So it depends, because then they're using up space on your bench, and so then you can't. How can I say? If you hog them for the sake of hogging them, and you end up having 4 injured people on the bench in a draft team, and you've got some kind of suspect players in your starting 11, then you're in trouble because nobody's going to come on for you. So for me, it's not a never, never. But if it came down to there being kind of a couple of people getting close to being on the bench or on the bench for a level of time, then I'd have to ship them off. But see, I'm not doubting like you, Kurt. I don't think Salah's going to be an issue this season like you do. So
well, with draft, because you can only have one player, and then once they're picked, they're gone. There's 2 questions. One, if they do, let's say, get injured for a month, or let's say 2 months, for example, do you transfer them out? And B, when does someone? Because I know I've thought, well, you'd obviously wait, but then you think, would you consider getting them in 2 weeks before they're meant to come back just to secure the signature of someone like Salah? Is that also a game sort of plan where someone could take them in a bit early, risk them not playing and sitting on the bench just to make sure they've got hold of Salah or got hold of Kane for the foreseeable? Yeah. It becomes a tactical battle.
It does. I think because there's only 4 of us, it makes it easier to do that because we've already got such strong squads, very strong midfields, 3 good forwards each. You could sacrifice one of your players to bring in Salah for like a month on the bench because you've got the strength and depth of your squad. But if you had like 8 people or 12 people in this draft or whatever the maximum is, then that would make it a lot more difficult, I think, because you wouldn't have such a strong squad to then weaken it further by bringing in Salah, a month before he comes back from injury. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
At the moment, we have got strong squads, so I think I would definitely do that. If Salah was available a month before he was back from injury, I would get rid of maybe Son, for example, and just use my 4 strong midfielders and wait for him to return.
See, I didn't want to answer because, yes, if Nim did
he doesn't want to give his strategy away.
I would bring in, if I thought my side was strong enough to cope with it, I'd bring in Salah just to stop any of you lot getting him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's not just for yourself, is it? It's to stop others getting him as well. So you control everyone. You could bring him in and not even play him for the rest of the season. Just take him out of the game. Just no one can have him.
That sounds like a Kurt move right there. He's just going to take Salah out of the game.
He would have done that. If he got first pick, he would have picked him and then not even played him just to rub it in.
You know what? If I got first pick and picked Salah, I'd have made sure Fellaini paid for the rest of the season just to rub it in.
We're all going to have the last laugh. Don't you worry about it. When we're, when you're trying to squeeze him into your team and try and find those extra millions, then
don't need to worry about that. I'm confident.
You've got him in, haven't you? Haven't you got him in? You know it.
No, I haven't. I'm doing all right, actually. I've got a plan to get him in. It's all sorted.
I just wish I could have this team for the real FPL, to be honest.
Sorry?
I wish I could have this team for the real FPL.
Yeah, it'd be lush, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your team is brilliant. So I just want to say, Shashank, he apologised, bless him. He said, you have probably the 2 best players in the league with Hazard and Salah, and you heard the audience for Hazard pick. So.
Oh, he's sucking up now. That's a poor comment from him.
Shush you.
Simon Cowell's back.
Simon Cowell's back.
It's all right. Tomorrow Hazard will have made his transfer. So.
Yeah. I'll have got rid of Hazard by tomorrow. Okay. I did see an Alonso or Aspilicueta from Hello. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrongly. What and why? I went with Alonso just because Azpilicueta was taken, but I probably would have gone with Azpilicueta for the points that Kurt made if he was still free.
I think one thing Azpilicueta, he's almost, I think if you look at the Chelsea defence, he's potentially the only player that's undroppable. Because you think in his last couple of seasons, he's played right back, left back, and centre back, all to a considerably good standard. Alonso, there could be question marks about his defending. You've got Moses, there's definitely question marks about his defending. I don't think he's the best right back at the club. I think that's Azpilicueta. Then you've got Cahill, is he good enough? Rudiger, is he consistent enough? David Luiz, is he, can you trust him? So I think there's a lot of question marks. Whereas Azpilicueta, no matter where you play him, he's gonna perform. That's the reason I went for him. If Conte was still there, I'd probably gone with Alonso because although Azpilicueta scores points, Alonso has the potential to score 10 plus goals a season as a defender, but he's not. And my worry is if they go too defensive, will that limit Alonso? Will that potentially push him out of the team? That was my worries, really.
I'd have to agree. For me, as it stands at the moment, it's Aspie all day for me over Alonso. I mean, last season, Alonso was 0.5 million more expensive. He was 7 million. And at that point, there was no question it was Alonso last season. Like, I was happily to spend that extra 0.5 over Azpilicueta and get Alonso in because of the goal threat. But this season is a different story because we don't quite know how important he's going to be for this new manager. Is he going to play every game? How is he going to utilise him? At least with Azpilicueta, you know for a fact he's going to start, that he might even be put into right back, which means he gets further forward. If he's delivering like 5 assists from centre back last year, how many assists can he get from right back? So for me at the moment, as things stand, because of the information that we have, Azpilicueta, it takes the stress away. He's starting. He's a quality world-class defender. For me, Azpilicueta over Alonso, as things stand, it's no question for me.
Well, apparently I did the good thing by getting Hazard in because it's all over the chat. Everyone's saying that he's staying. Apparently, I don't know, Madrid pulled out or something. So that's hot gossip, apparently.
Wow, okay. If he is confirmed, he's a player I would consider for my actual FPL team. I know he's 10.5 million, but
he always trolls me though. Like I always think, he's a brilliant pick,
know,
and then I put him in,
though.
And then it always hurts when he does nothing. It's the same in the World Cup.
I know, I totally agree, but it's like, it's this new manager momentum. You bring in a new manager, and they always start off so well, and he's gonna be kicked up the backside, if you know what I mean. And he had such a great World Cup, and good opening fixtures as well. Those fixtures though, apart from Arsenal in game week 2, but that's at home. Even Hazard has always caused Arsenal problems in the past. We all remember that goal that he scored from taking on half the team. If he is confirmed for game week 1, Hazard would be a strong consideration for me, especially with Man City away to Arsenal in the first game week. For game week 1, I think Chelsea play Huddersfield. I think last year Hazard ripped Huddersfield apart. It was maybe them or another team, but he had a few tackles. Yeah. Maybe it was either Huddersfield or West Brom when they tackled him a few times, and he just let loose and he ripped them apart, and he played so well. And against Huddersfield game week 1, Hazard could be a double-digit haul from him. You never know.
I think it was Huddersfield or Brighton or someone like that where Chelsea got 4 or 5 in the first half, and it looks as if it could go double figures.
That's
and
it.
If Hazard gets in that sort of form, he's unplayable.
The goal, I know at this
they scored
point,
an unbelievable goal in that game.
I was just going to say, I know at this point that Jay is already lining up who he's going to make as his transactions because the concentration phase.
No. I'm doing Hazard research. He's just like boom.
It's one thing to consider though with talking about Chelsea defenders. I mentioned it in my video today. If you look at someone like Victor Moses, Hazard, well, we think he's staying now. If Willian does go, Moses is a general sort of right mid. Is there a potential for Moses to become the right winger first team? If he plays well there, you potentially have a defender at £6 million.
I know.
Playing next to a striker. that could
it was
be
pretty much the same
thought.
with Alonso, wasn't it? Last
Alonso could even do a job up there. That could be his role, because I think he's so good at attack. He's over 6 foot. He's really physical. That could be a role for him as well. Stick Hazard the other side, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
I put a tweet out about that a few weeks ago, that there is that chance, because and I think a few people kind of laughed and gawked at it a little bit, but I know a lot of Chelsea fans maybe aren't the biggest fans of Moses, because obviously he's not a defender really. He never has been a defender. It was kind of a miracle that he was utilised at a right wing back, and it just kind of worked for him, and take nothing away from him. They ended up winning the league that year. But Moses is an attacker. He's a winger, so there is that chance that he could play right wing at the start of the season, and that would be gold to have a Chelsea defender playing right wing. That's mouth-watering from an FPL perspective if it happens, and you talk about players that can take on a man, and Moses is one of the only players that can actually beat a man. Like, he'll actually go at a defender, like
you don't want to be condoning that. You don't want to be don't be condoning beating men. That's
you know what I mean.
This stream's just taking a whole new level again.
I can't say anything, can I, without it being twisted. But you know what I'm saying. A bit like Zaha, they actually like to take a man on. They can take someone on, basically. And Moses is that kind of player, but we'll have to see.
Apparently, who is the best 4.5 defender? We're getting asked.
Best 4.5 defender.
Does Jay want to take that one first? He's concentrating too much up there.
We need some wind. We need some wind.
I mean, for 4.5, I actually did a video on it recently, so it should be really fresh in my head. Meant to come out tomorrow. But who have I actually got in my side, my actual side? That might give me a bit of a jog of memory there.
Well, the one player I think is best for 4.5 by far is Charlie Daniels.
I
got downgraded by the FPL price people, whoever they are, to 4.5, and considering it 1 goal, 3 assists last season, they've got to improve on the clean sheets. He only got 6, but Daniels could be a really good
was
pick.
Charlie Daniels 5 million last year?
Yeah.
Yes, because he had a good season.
Yeah, a lot of ball players went up in price.
He was in my 5 draft team video, and I had some stats on him, and they were just ridiculously good. But I think, I don't know what it was. Somebody said something about Burnley defence, and I can't remember what it was now. It can't be fixtures. I'll have to think on that one. I would say Cedric from
absolutely.
Southampton. He got downgraded in price, and Southampton is a dodgy one, but when they're good in defence, they're good in defence, and Cedric offers that attacking threat as well.
For me, it's hard to see a better player at 4.5 million defence than Cedric, really. I know a lot of us, like FPL addicts, we always seem to get obsessed with Southampton. For some reason, we're convinced that they're an organised team, they defend well, and and then it does seem to backfire. But I can't get past Cedric at 4.5. Like the rumours are that they might play 5 at the back, or like 3 centre backs, which would push Cedric a bit further forward at wing back, which is more of a bonus. Yeah. They've signed Vestergaard, who's 5 million on FPL, which is a shame actually, because if he was 4.5, I might have considered him. But this Vestergaard, I've watched a couple of clips.
Where does he play, Brett?
He's a centre back.
Okay.
He's a centre back, and I've watched some clips of him. In 60 odd appearances, he's got 7 goals, so he does get goals, and he's very Van Dijk-esque. So he's a sort of direct replacement for Van Dijk, I think, and that can only help Cedric, to keep some more clean sheets.
So in other words, he'll do well, and then Liverpool will buy him next season.
So get Cedric now before he goes to Liverpool, basically.
Now Vestergaard is 6'6".
Yeah, he's a very tall. Yeah, absolutely. He's a goal threat. He's like a Van Dijk. He's a goal threat, and he got 7 goals for his previous club in like 63 games or something. So he's definitely a goal threat. So for 4.5, Cedric, I think, is probably the best. And obviously Tompkins, a lot of people in the chat are talking about Tompkins. Yeah. Another good option. Obviously, he's a centre-back, so not quite as attacking as Cedric, but showed he can score last year. Very good opening fixtures for the first 8 to 10 game weeks, similar to Southampton. So there's 2 players there, Cedric Tompkins, that I would go for. I'm not sold on Charlie Daniels personally. Bournemouth
Yeah,
defended.
I've just seen here actually. Sorry,
No,
Kurt,
go
to
for it,
interrupt. The Blaster 110 said, didn't Bournemouth get another player for his position a few days back?
They did. They got
Might
Rico.
be difficult this year.
Diego
Oh, we've got a
Rico.
new subscriber. Welcome to FPL there. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Welcome to the FPL Jamboree. So it just popped up on my screen. So
you're exactly right. Yeah, Rico was signed for Bournemouth, so that's another negative for Charlie Daniels. Plus, Bournemouth had like the worst defensive record maybe at home last season. They conceded like 40 goals. Maybe it was away. I'm not sure, but they were very leaky last year. So Bournemouth, they kept 6 clean sheets, 3 at home, 3 away. A very poor defensive record. So, and I know Charlie Daniels does offer that attacking threat, but he's getting on a little bit now. I'm not sold on Charlie Daniels personally. That's just my opinion, obviously. So yeah, Cedric or Tompkins for me.
Well, if it helped, I'm usually like everyone else. I'm always on the Southampton defenders. I'm worried this season because I think Mark Hughes has had a poor managerial record in his last couple of clubs. Didn't take the sort of the wind in his sails last year. They struggled to survival. My worry is that Southampton start off the way they ended, which is sort of just about doing enough, and that wasn't good. Well, it wasn't good enough considering many people again think. You look at Southampton's record where they finished last season. They struggled to Premier League survival. Yeah. I just think that's a worry, and they missed those marquee players. So you think when a couple of years ago, when you think they have like Van Dijk who have gone, Lovren who have gone, Lallana who's gone, Wanyama who's gone. You think even people like Graziano Pella was a decent player for scoring goals gone. They've got. I do worry for Bournemouth as well in the same ways because I do feel that they leak too many goals, and it's only a matter of time before that comes back to haunt them. And I do feel like Southampton as well. I'll probably just stick both of them in my team anyway because one of them's got to do well.
For 4.5 exactly. Well. Yeah. 4.5 exactly. Welcome Jeff to the chat. Hello,
hey Jeff.
Just what was I going to say? There was a good point here. So, I think it was for Anne O'Brien. Just wanted to say that we will hopefully be doing a live soon where we will be doing some Rate My Teams and things like that. Sometime next week, we'll hopefully be doing one of those. So make sure you tune in for that, and we'll be able to go through teams a bit more. So, yeah. Oh, look, there's a baby Jay. Oh.
Yeah,
an FPL
if
manager
you wondered
in the
where I
making.
disappeared, sorry, it was this one.
Just trying to bring in the viewers now.
We've got our little FPL kitten here.
Yeah.
So not quite a wildcat, but one day. We're training them early.
She better not be beating me at Fantasy Premier League.
We're training them early. So yeah. I like, Jen said, I like Tooson, but Everton don't look too good in pre-season so far. What do we all think about that?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I don't like to look too much into pre-season, but at the same time, you can't really help it, can you? Tosun was in my team at the beginning, and now I've talked myself out of Tosun. I just feel like he's too much of a gamble. Great fixtures, could score goals, but with the likes of Arnautovic and Zaha at the same price, I've talked myself out of Tosun personally. If you've got that gut feeling for Tosun, then go for him. He's got the good fixtures. But for me, I'd have to agree because I'm not sure how Everton are going to respond to Marco Silva and how good they're going to play. I've gone from a triple up to Everton to one just Coleman now. I've taken Tosun out personally.
Cool. No worries. So
anyone else?
I haven't really gone past my initial draft team, if I'm honest, and that is very similar to Aguero, Aubameyang, and Kamara. I think are my top 3 strikers at the minute. So it's hard to fit Toussaint in there. I was going to wait for the shield. I have a bit of a backup plan. See whether Aguero plays, because Aubameyang is nailed regardless, as far as I'm concerned. And then decide whether I wanted to downgrade Aguero and upgrade Kamara, or whether I wanted to kind of keep Aguero where he is. So the shield will tell me a lot there. I think, as Brett said, it's very difficult in terms of price point, where we go with our money. If Toussaint, Arnautovic, Zaha, everything you said, really, it makes it more difficult to choose out of all of those.
It does. I think because of the high ownership of Zaha and Arnautovic, it's almost a bit safer to go for those as well, But the beauty of FPL is taking gambles, and if you've got a good feeling about Tosin, then you should go for him. But it would be considered a gamble this early on, because we don't know how Everton are going to play. So it's a tough one because the season hasn't started. We don't know how good they're going to be. I would say if you've got that gut feeling, go for Tosin.
I had him at the end of last season for a little bit. I had him and Rooney, I think, at the same time, and they got me between them a lot of points, and that was a massive gamble.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. He is a really good player. I will give him that, and given the chance, he can continue to be a really good player. So I guess we just now have to wait and see, how he develops. But I'm not sure. I'd be with Jay on his Arnautovic pick in the draft. I would probably go there out of those three first. So
yeah.
I'll just do one or two more whilst Jay's away. I think he's feeding the babber at the minute. So we'll let him do that, and then we'll answer a few more questions while he's doing that, and then we can come back for a little wrap up. And so whilst he's doing that, we've got best 6.5 midfielder Pedro Milivojevic. Milivojevic. I think that's meant to say Lamella, Richarlison, or Fabregas. So what do we think on those? I personally think Jota, and I noticed nobody got him in the draft. But out of those, it would be probably Jota or Richarlison for myself. I don't know what you guys think.
Richarlison, probably. I think I'm not a big fan. Usually, I quite like the 6.5 million mark. I think the midfielder-wise, I haven't really taken to any of them. I think Pedro, obviously, there's the rotation risk. Milivojevic. That name.
Milivojevic.
Milo,
for sure.
Milo. A lot of his goals have come from penalties. If penalties aren't given to Palace this season, or he misses a few, that's a majority of his attacking returns gone. That's my worry with him. Lamella, maybe for the start of the season, yes, because of the fact there's not many players coming back. But long term, I don't think it's a good one. I think Fabregas is beginning to age a bit, and I think we'll start seeing that in his performances. He won't be able to play as much, a bit sort of like David Silva. So I think Richarlison or Jota, but I'm always wary of the step up from Championship to Premier League, especially when they're so dominant. It becomes so easy. And I think Richarlison under Marco Silva, you look at the points he got under Marco Silva last season before he was terminated in employment. Yeah. I think he's got to be one of the best ones, surely.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? There is a lot of love for this Jota, isn't it? But like you say, it's kind of like getting back to reality. They are a Championship side that have come up. Now they've spent a lot of money. They've got a lot of good players. Jota's definitely an option, but it's almost like the fact that they've signed a lot of other good players, is that going to then share the goals a bit? Is Jota... I didn't watch them in the Championship last season, but is Jota going to be the main man, or is it gonna, is someone else gonna take the reins each game week? I don't know. So, but I would go through process of elimination. So for me, like Kurt said, Milivojevic wouldn't be an option for me. At 5 million last year, he was a great option because he was, coming off the bench, scoring penalties. At 6.5, to spend that much on a player that you're just hoping gets penalties, there's a lot more better 5 million options that are on penalties. You've got Joe Rawls at Cardiff for one. He's a 5 million penalty taker. So I wouldn't go for Millie personally because he only got like 1 or 2 in open play. So I wouldn't go for him. Lamella, he's never done it for me. He very rarely scores goals. He doesn't deliver attacking returns, despite him being a workhorse. He doesn't do it enough for me. So Lamella wouldn't be my cup of tea. Fabregas, it depends. With Chelsea, Fabregas and Pedro, we need to wait a bit, I think, because we don't know who's going to be playing where and how they're going to be utilised. So Fabregas could be golden in a 4-3-3 if he plays behind the 3 forwards, but he might not play. We don't know yet. Pedro, again, let's wait a bit with Chelsea, I think. We're just going to play the waiting game. Let's wait to the Community Shield. Let's give it a bit more time there. So out of those picks right now, Jeff, I would probably go Richarlison because we know he's just been bought for 50 million. He'll be nailed on. His stats under Marco Silva were incredible last year, not just in goal returns, but he had like 200 touches in the penalty box for the opponent or something like that. It was like the 3rd best in the league. So Richarlison's attacking stats for a midfielder were amazing. So as things stand, Jeff, go for Richarlison. But let's wait for Chelsea options and let's get a bit more information on them first.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. We'll finish up there. We will hopefully be streaming next week. It's the lead up to FPL and we're hoping to bring you as much content as we can. But FPL Dare wants to know, Kurt, is there a reason for the glasses?
Well, I didn't choose fashion. Fashion chose me.
Fantastic. That sounds like a brilliant place to finish up. Just to let you know, FPL Dare, that's just how we roll here. We like random. We do random. That's just how we roll.
And we don't like Salah.
So. No. Hang on. They're Kurt's views. They're not everyone else's. Just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who joined us tonight on the stream. I hope you really enjoyed it. I know we were trying something completely different. Not many people have, if it's even been done live with more than one person, we're not even sure. We think it might be new, and hope you enjoyed it. We tried our best to get as much of us and the screen in, I should say. But please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content here. We will be bringing you lots more lives during the season. We're sorry Jay is not here to wave goodbye. He is doing Papa J bit with the baby, and because we've run a little bit longer than we should have done. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We've been FPL Wildcats. Thanks for joining us. See you soon.